Okay.
Here we go. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Sunday afternoon, right after the afternoon. Yeah, it's ready for some football. Okay, so we're not watching the Panthers currently losing, probably, but
yes, you know they're gonna lose.
I'm sure they'll still be losing when we're done here.
Of course.
But you can find us everywhere you get podcast. Search the Blackout Tips will come up. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. If they're nice, we read them on the air, and we don't play extra commercials during the feedback show. So it's like we all are winning. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair,
an unofficial sport.
Wow.
A bullet ball, extreme. And we're not here alone. We have guests today, very familiar to us, maybe not as familiar to the audience yet, but that's why we do these. And I didn't even ask before how to refer to y'all, but it's Kevin and Chantel. Or do you want me to say Glennis? I'll be seeing the government. I'll be seeing the government.
You can call me Glennis in my official capacity.
Yeah. Yes. Glennis. Okay. So Kevin and Glennis from the Giving Heart Project organization. And also Karen's cousin. So we it's there's a lot happening right now.
I don't know if I'm gonna remember Glennis. I'm just gonna let you know if I just start saying Handel. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was doing all my show notes and my research, and I was like, oh wait, all the government, all the official stuff, I keep, Facebook, all this stuff, and I was like gonna start the show and be like, Chantel, what's up, girl? And it was like, oh wait, that might mess it up.
We family, so hey,
no doubt. First of all, can y'all tell the people about a Giving Heart Project, like what it is y'all do?
Yes, I'll take it if you want me to. So, a Giving Heart Project is a grassroots 501c3 nonprofit founded by Kevin and I, husband and wife. We are native Charlotteans, and we started back in 2018 doing work in our community to give back. Very much a project-based nonprofit. When we initially started, we just saw a need, and we galvanized support to fill the need. And over the years, we've obviously continued to formalize this organization. It's kind of grown its own arms and legs and everything. And it is what it is today. We are a organization that believes in providing equitable and sustainable solutions to eliminate barriers for folks in need. And we do that in 3 key ways. We provide case management support to families that are experiencing homelessness and housing insecurity. We also host prevention-based workshops with the goal in mind of equipping young people to address some of those multifaceted challenges that contribute to homelessness. We want to equip them and empower them by connecting them with subject matter experts to learn and get valuable, reliable information that can maybe help them break some cycles. And then we also host community outreach events in collaboration with a lot of other great organizations in the Charlotte community. Where our goal is to bridge the gap between folks in need and the resources that exist in our resource-rich community.
Okay, that's Glennis talking. Okay, that was polished.
And you know what? I get a chance to toot my own horn.
Okay.
She is very smart. She has multiple degrees. Every time I turn around, this bitch get another damn degree. I'm like, oh my God. So, she wasn't a black woman. What's she doing getting a degree?
Yeah,
a certification.
And how long have y'all been doing this? Because I remember you starting this.
2018.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, man. And what made you start, because I feel like there's people give, right? There's, normally when people think about giving, it's like, oh, I'll go to the Red Cross. I'll go. But to start your own thing, to be like, no, let's go file the paperwork, all that stuff. What made you want to go do that?
Ooh, it's so many things, but I'll say that for me, as a child, I was that kid in the classroom that was going through hell at home and nobody knew it, right? Nobody could tell because I healed through comedy. I wanted to be the class clown, right? Granted, like Kay said, I am pretty intelligent, but I went through a lot as a child, and that trauma is what compels me to do this work. Very early in this work, we were starting going into CMS schools, trying to encourage young people. And again, all the pieces have kind of woven together and to make it what it is right now. But it was all about, for me, my career and this work in this nonprofit space has always been about being able to pour into young people, because I understand what it looks like to sit on that side of the table. And for Kevin,
Yeah, for me, it was really coming from a place of experiencing some of the things that we are trying to prevent with our nonprofit, right? So I was considered unaccompanied growing up.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So basically, I was considered, I didn't live with my parents. So my mother died when I was 8, and I stayed with my grandfather and my great-grandmother. And then I bounced between them, and between my next phase was between my aunt and my uncle at that point. So I never lived with my father till actually high school. So throughout my younger years, I was bouncing around from place to place. So from that standpoint, I would be considered what's unaccompanied. I was never full-blown homeless, like out on the streets, living in my car or living in a car. But
you didn't have like somewhere that's quote unquote considered home, because my aunt adopted me, I was considered a ward of the state, which is different than what you're talking about. I was like, well, kind of explain that a little bit more, because she is my legal guardian, quote unquote, but she's not my parent. So, they was like, well, since your mother can't take care of you, we'll consider you a ward of the state, which is completely different. Wow, but I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we lead with our heart. We don't lead with our trauma. And so a lot of people don't know the things that we went through as children, because we don't look like it, right? We don't smell like the smoke and the hell that we went through. But that's all the more reason that fuels what we do. We really believe that, it's about the seeds that were planted in our lives and the people that invested in us and showed us love and care throughout the years, that have, Kay picking me and my sister up and taking us to a restaurant to eat and just asking us how our week has been, right? She don't know that. I've never mentioned that to her, but she was the first to PF chains, because I didn't even know what that was, right?
I just wanted to show that to y'all. I know that might sound wild, but kind of growing up, I've always been the type of person, if I have and you and my clique, we got like that's kind of how I always function. And so for me, as I got older and as I began to experience these different things, I was like, well, let me take them somewhere where, not trying to be funny, they're gonna be outside of their normal environment. It's gonna be white people around. It's, all this, type of thing to enter, because I think I might have been like in college or something like that right around that time. So I was like, well, let me get y'all out so we can experience things kind of together, so I won't be alone. Because for me, sometimes I felt like I was alone.
Y'all camera cut out for a second.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear. There you go. Well, I was gonna say another thing that's interesting about like struggle, even especially as a child, but even as an adult, is how psychological it is, because we'll try to cover it up so we don't look like we're struggling, which means you don't look like you need help. So then it just compounds the situation, because everybody, I got this. It reminds me of when I was a kid. My parents, they weren't like cheap, but they was like, they was parents. They was black parents. They wasn't like, go get them. Oh, Jordan's out. Go get you some Jordans. My parents was like, no, of course not. That's crazy. Here's some hoops. They look like, Reebok pumps. Just put the like cover of your jeans on the top. Don't nobody got to know. But all my needs were met and stuff. But in some ways, it's like, I remember getting picked on for those hoops. People, he got on Jeepers. But sometimes it was by kids that had Jordans on, but like their home life was messed up. They just happened to have those Jordans, so you wouldn't know that they was actually struggling at home. Is that a challenge for y'all, when you do try to enter into schools, when you try like to tell people like, I know you need help, it don't make you less than, we here to help, I needed help,
it's okay to almost like to give them a reassurance, particularly in a lot of times I realize in the Black community, we've always been taught to tough it out. Like we've always been taught to give it to Jesus. and there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes you need help kind of beyond that. Why can't it be a collaboration of multiple things? Because it's no one avenue that gets you there.
Yeah. So is that a challenge for y'all?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think a big challenge just as a society, but more importantly as Black people, we are taught, trained, groomed to suffer in silence.
Yes.
And I think that, that's part of one of the certifications that I pursued was becoming a trauma-informed advocate, understanding what trauma looks like. Like, again, from all intents and purposes, people would probably look at me and say, oh, she ain't went through nothing. She grew up in this neighborhood. She had, all the things, and people don't know the hell that was behind closed doors. The things that I went through growing up that psychologically, to your point, Rod, just can really, get you to a point where you can't really function like as a contributing member of society, those type of things that can really, break you down. So I think one of the things that we try to do a really good job of is not just coming into any space that we go into occupy thinking we know the answer and thinking that we know what it looks like to be in a place of need.
Right.
Because need is not your need is not the same as my need. And there might be a child that is well put together, well groomed, but just socially can't engage with their peers in a healthy way. And that means we need to show up different for them. But there are some kids that maybe come to school disheveled, clothes are, maybe need cleaning, and they didn't get a good meal that morning, and we show up different for them. Right. And so it just depends. And I think we try to educate ourselves and be informed ourselves. And then also the people that we galvanize to support the work that we do, we try to make sure that they are informed as well, because it's about the way we show up. You don't want to re-traumatize somebody. You don't want to assume things. So it's about listening. It's about being that ear, open your eyes and show people that you want them to be seen. And that's what we do to try to address the fact that people might not look like they need the help, or they may, present one way, but ultimately at the root of it, we want to build resiliency in everyone.
What is it that made you both decide I'm going to be the one to make the difference? Because there's so many people that go through life and they have all these dreams and vision. They go, I want to help. I want to be supportive. Like I want to do something, but they never take that step. What is it that charged you to be like, no, I'm going to make this thing a reality?
So I would say it was my family, really. I have another cousin on my other side of the family who made the call one morning. It was in January 2018. It was like, yo, you see how cold it's going to be? We got to get out here and do something. And I was like, I was thinking the same thing. And that's really what started us doing that project-based work of collecting what we could, using our money to go out and buy as much we could and go out and serve people. But I've always had a tender heart, right? People always call me a crybaby, a tenderhearted, and that kind of thing. And for a long time, I perceived that as weakness.
Right.
Having so much care and concern for other people that I was
passion
emotionally, I was saddened by hardship. I was saddened by injustice and inequity and all those things before I knew what the big words were. Right. And so as I grew, as I aged, and then obviously got married to Kevin, he never made me feel like it was a weakness. Right. He saw my heart, and he really pushed me to be able to say, well, let's do something about it. Yeah. You want to make a difference. Like, we see there's problems in our community after that terrible division that was coming in our community. I try not to get political, so y'all see me swallow my words.
Yeah, we knew we said yesterday, because we was talking about some controversial stuff, and I was like, tomorrow, guys, we're having guests, so I'm just letting y'all know, this is Karen's cousin. We're not trying to get them in no trouble, so don't worry. I see what's happening in these streets, and it's very reasonable things being said that people is getting chastised for and harassed about. So
right,
and I can't even imagine what y'all are doing right now in this environment, because helping isn't necessarily political. Helping is helping. It's not like you don't walk up to somebody and be like, oh, so you homeless? Okay, who you vote for? You know what I mean? It's
don't matter.
It's like, here's the food, here's the jacket, here's whatever we can, here's the housing, whatever we can do to help. And so to see this environment where things are politicized, is it difficult to navigate it more so now than it was in 2018 when you started?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely harder to navigate. To your point, Rod. I think about even from the side of when we look at trying to get even funding to do some of the projects we need to do, right? Like it's a little tough in these streets right now for sure.
And like y'all, one thing I noticed about your project is that it's not, and I'm not saying this as a negative. I mean this honestly, it's beneficial right now. It's not based in like we're only helping Black people or it's Black oriented.
Right.
It's just we're trying to help period.
Everybody.
And it's interesting because I feel like up until a couple years ago, companies and people were trying to partner with like, yo, how do we find the most overtly Black thing to give money to? You know what I mean? Like if a Giving Heart was on there and another one was like a Black Giving Heart, it was like, give it to a Black Giving Heart. Okay. George Floyd got killed. We got to make up for lost time. Target we need to do something. And now that, I feel like it's almost going the other way where it's like, we need to get as far away from that. Are y'all seeing any difference in like giving right now for y'all, or is it just they see two Black people and they go, this is a Black giving thing, we not helping?
Well, it's interesting. When we first started, there was a lot of larger entities that were seeking out, to your point, Black-led organizations, right? BIPOC organizations, and they wanted to support us because they knew there was a lot of making up to do. And now you hear some of those same entities saying, we have to pivot. That's the language that they use, right? They have to pivot. And that's, because they have been a source, but not the source for the work that we do.
Right.
We understand that there's something bigger and greater that is going to be able to give us what we need to do this work. But yeah, it is most absolutely, like, even as we apply for contracts and we are putting our applications together for grants, we have to be mindful of the language that we use, because some of the things that we learn, a lot of people have a mind that it's only Black and brown people that need these community resources and these human services. That is not the case.
No,
right?
It's not.
When we're out here in this community, there are a lot of faces. There are a lot of faces. And I think that educating ourselves and becoming more informed that it wasn't just Black and brown people, it really hasn't been a hard shift for us to say we're serving people, period. Need is need, and it doesn't have a color. There are people that are more disproportionately impacted by things in a great state of Mecklenburg County. But it's a diverse landscape as far as people in need, but we do have to mind our language as we apply for things.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you absolutely will have to, because, and the thing is, like, and I know it's easy to crack down on the companies. I get it. Look, I haven't been to Target in a minute, guys. It is what it is. But at the same time, it's a government pressure. Like, the companies don't just exist outside of the government. They're looking at what's happening at the top and they being like, man, they really cracking down on people
for just trying to help.
Yeah. So I could kind of see how, like, I still need the grant, so let me just change the language up a little bit, and you still gonna help the people you can help. So it's not really like it's affecting the mission, just the way you would have to apply for grants and stuff. You talked about
a choice we make. That's a choice we make.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, it's like, what do I want to not help people? But I have my. It's like, but at least I told them how I felt, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, they denied the grant,
and
I don't want to go into the streets. Hey guys, nobody's eating today. I had to flex on them though. I had to flex on y'all. Feel me?
I made you proud. I represent that. At the same time, sometimes you got to be smart. Sometimes strategic. And I would say we try to make strategic moves. We're not a huge nonprofit like some of these other entities are, but we try to be strategic.
You talked earlier about partnering and dealing, like having to get a team and stuff. Is it difficult managing people and like, because to me, like, when I think of people, they mean well, but people, it's hard to manage people at times. And even something like altruism, I'm sure it's hard to manage people. So it's like, is there difficulty getting together people and getting everybody on the same page?
Yeah, I can speak to it from the management of the organization on a day-to-day basis. Kevin runs our board, so he can probably speak to it from a different perspective. I think it is challenging. when you don't have the right people. But it is seamless and effortless when you have the right people with the right heart. You know, Giving Heart Project is all about, you know, leading with our heart. So that is some of the work that goes into it on the front end, is trying to make sure that you got people that are aligned to the mission and the vision that the organization has. Agreed. And when you got people that are bought into that and understand that it's bigger than us, it's bigger than Glennis, Kevin. Exactly. This is about spreading love in intentional ways. When they're bought into that, then it makes it easy when we have to have those crucial conversations and say, hey, I see you're doing this, but we might need to pivot and do it this way, because ultimately the persons and the peoples that we're serving is why we do this work. And we have to be good stewards of any resources that are allocated to us, not only financial, but in-kind contributions. People donate, toiletries, clothing, all kind of items to support the work that we do. People going into new homes, they're getting, you know, whole houses of furniture, right? So anything that we receive, we want to be good stewards of it. And that means being trustworthy and having our names be good in these streets. And so, it takes a level of, let me make sure I'm connected to the right people on the front end, which means we stay small for a little bit longer than we wanted to, you know?
Nah, that's real.
But, you know, and then from a leadership or oversight perspective, I know Kevin has a perspective with the board.
Yeah, what's the, like, first of all, like putting together a board, that just sounds so like
director, CEO, CFO,
like, you gotta have titles and stuff. We have had this business, the Blackout Test, we have had like a LLC for over probably a decade now. I still think for a second every time I have to fill something out, and it's like, what are you? CEO, president, co-owner? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I'm all those things, but like, I was just gonna put Rod. But okay. So yeah, what's it like managing a board and putting that all together?
Yeah, no, managing the board, again, I think it goes back to Glennis's point, right? You got to make sure you have the right people and that they have your heart, they have a heart for the organization and the work. If those folks don't, then it's not going to really work or gel well, right? So, you know, up front, that's us going through certain applications, having those discussions about how these folks fit into the organization. You know, do they share the same passion and vision? You know, do we feel that they are trustworthy? Are they dependable? You know, ultimately, it's really, it's essentially like your typical interview, right? You know, you're interviewing for a job, or you're interviewing people to come along into your entity, and you know, you want to make sure that they have the right skill set, the right knowledge base. And then ultimately with us, we have a lot of first timers coming on board as new board members, right? So they don't know anything about being a board member, so we're able to provide training to them. They have a one-on-one onboarding buddy, so they're not just left out there alone. You know, and we try to meet with them and instill, you know, our vision and values for the organization, and, you know, just share that energy and compassion that we have to serve our community. But
have you ever had to like let somebody go from the board, or let somebody go as a, because when people think charity helping, they also just think it's no business, it's all vibe, but it's an actual, like there's paperwork, there's balance sheets, there's like, it does matter. As you say, your name's in the street, it does, it matters. It can't just be all vibes. So like, what is it like to be like,
this ain't working out, dog.
I appreciate what you trying to do, but it's not.
I struggle with it. Okay, I struggle with, now when I manage teams for other entities, and I know that they are compensated and they have a job description and the expectations are, and that's different. I can do that all day. For the nonprofit, to your point, Rod, people are volunteering and giving up their time. So sometimes it has taken me some time to struggle with that. But this one right here,
I don't. So my I don't care. So
like, wasting our time. We could have somebody else be more fruitful in this position.
So and that's my thing is that you volunteered for this, you signed up for it, you committed to it, right? If you can't honor that commitment, then you do need to move on, and I'm okay with that.
I'm with you. I remember when I was in Inroads, which is like this internship program thing. for academically talented Black youth is what I still remember the logo, the slogan.
Go ahead, say that.
Yeah, I still remember, like, because they used to make us say it. Anyway, once every like 4 months or 6 months, we had to do like, volunteer work of some time for the community, right? Mm-hmm. And there is a thing that happens where there are people that are almost like, man, they already homeless. What do it matter if I'm on time? And it's like, what do you mean? They waiting. It's extra important. It's extra important. We said we'd be here at 2. They showing up hungry at 2. They not trying to hear that you didn't get here till 2:45.
In fact, we need to be here earlier.
Yeah,
much earlier.
So I do remember, like, I mean, now I was a kid, but I remember getting, scolded a couple times, and I was like, oh, I get it now, because if the car wash started at 3, it got to start at 3. I can't. And I remember thinking like, oh, there's some bullshit I gotta do just to keep my little good job. There's like, no, this is what it's really about. So yeah, I can imagine, even with it being something where you would think, well, I'm helping, there are people that's like, I'm not required to help as hard as I would if it was like a paying gig or something like that. And you're right. Yeah, you gotta. I respect it, because you're really not just standing up for you and your org. You're standing up for the people y'all helping.
Absolutely, and they deserve what they deserve, the best that we can give, just like a paying whomever, wherever, right?
Exactly.
Because it's about human value. It's not about, we don't place the value in what somebody has or doesn't have.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right. And we've been in a position, like, thankfully, to your point, like, we haven't had to really have those conversations with folks saying, hey, all right, you're not pulling your weight, you got to go. Usually it's people realizing that they aren't pulling their weight and they decide to resign or roll off or leave. So we haven't been in that position. But again, to your point, if we need to be in that position, then we will make that call. And, we give them fair warning and talk to them about it, right? We're just not going to be like, hey, cut off access.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's not like just just gonna pop up like Nino Brown after the Carter got raided. I'm not giving out these codes. Yeah, I get it.
What is the most, out of all the things y'all done and accomplished with the organization, what would be one of the most important things you say you have learned that you could pass on to somebody else?
So for me, I will say that if you have a passion to do something, to make an impact in any way, I think it's more important to not look to the left and the right and figure out what they're doing, but understand what's in you that you want to pour out and focus on doing that the best you can. Yeah. Right. And I think, because a lot of times, and that translates to a lot of different areas, but I think, there's a lot of people start nonprofits. There's a lot of nonprofits for people to sow into, volunteer with, and all the things. But one thing that I know is, can't nobody do it like Glennis will do.
Right.
Can't nobody bring the heart that I have to the work that I do. And who places value in what that means? The child that will run up to me and hug my waist and say, Miss G, I missed you. The mom who says, I don't know where we would have been if we hadn't met a Giving Heart Project. That little girl who's smiling after sharing a room in a hotel with 4 brothers for 2 years, and now she has her own room because a Giving Heart Project was able to step in. So it's those things that, to me, made me understand, there's a lot of systems out here that can help folks, and we want to be a bridge to those systems. And while we're doing that, we're going to do it our way. And I think we love to collaborate and partner with other organizations. So that would be what I say. Like, if you want to do something, don't wait and say, well, I'm gonna wait till I get with so-and-so and wait with. Now, there's really value in assessing what's already out there, figuring out if there's a way for you to serve and plug in those ways. Because being a nonprofit leader is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it is really important to know that everyone brings something valuable to this world, and you can use that value to sow into other people.
And how much like paperwork and stuff that you weren't, because I think like just like this, just like what we do. When I was like start a podcast, like cool, me and my wife, spare bedroom, we gonna get us some equipment, we just gonna chop it up. And then it was like, okay, time to file taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, profit and loss statement. What's that? You know, that type of.
What's an invoice?
Yeah, I still remember to start an LLC, we had to like go downtown and go to this you know, dank office and with these people and just fill out all kinds of stuff. So like, is the paperwork difficult? Is it does it consume a large part of your time?
To do it right, I think to set up the foundation the right way, to set up the organization, the entity, like a business. I mean, thankfully, Kevin and I have businesses, right. You know, so we understand. We understand.
A couple pots cooking in I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know it is. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is. Sometimes you gotta have a little bit. You know, you gotta build. You know, you gotta do the LLC.
Y'all blaze the path. Y'all were doing things we never saw in my. never saw in my family, right? And so y'all, wait a minute, y'all started a business. Y'all got.
Honestly, I didn't even think about that, Shanti. I know that might sound silly, but I never really think about that.
I hadn't even really.
You know, we don't have a lot of people that have shown it. So if they do it their own way, and we don't never learn the lesson.
Exactly.
Right.
My dad was the one that had his own business in our house because he, and you know, in many ways I just emulated him, which is crazy because he didn't sit down and do no paperwork. He just would do subtle things to like psychologically like put this seed in me. Like he would do stuff like show me he paid himself through his own company and show me how big the check was. And I'd be like, damn, that's you could do that for yourself. That's your check. It's not even no numbers taken out of that. That's all you. and that was a kid. So I didn't, you know, he's telling me this but I'm not thinking of it like one day I'm gonna do that. But then when I went to New York and wrote for the TV show Game Theory, they all the other writers, they were paying them directly. I was the only one that was like, or they were paying people's agents, which is even
the whole nother thing, right?
Don't even get me started on the agents and the management getting the cut because they didn't write not nan joke, but okay. But I was like, can y'all pay my company?
Yes.
And that was pay the company. I mean, if you fill out the paperwork, I guess we can do it. And I was like, I know it's got to be a way because you know these other people technically are getting paid through something else, and then it's paying them. Except it's getting paid. They getting paid through something else, and then like the manager taking 10%, and then the agent taking 5%, and then so and so taking, and then they finally get a little bit at the end. And so that like it did plant that seed in me to know that was possible. So yeah, I can absolutely like. It is funny. I didn't think of it when I was doing it like, man, somebody's watching us, but that's crazy. Y'all were like, oh, they started a business. Like, that's cool.
And I know it might sound crazy, but Shanti, I didn't even think about it, but going back and thinking about it, no, like it kind of in that immediate circle, there isn't really anybody that like come out and be like, I own this. Like not trying to find this is my name on it. The government acknowledges it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Type of thing. And it's just one of those things where with me and Roderick, just the whole thing was, we was like, we gonna do it. And it's wild because when you say we gonna do it and you don't have an example of it.
Yeah.
It's like you going down the road blind. And as you begin to put the bricks down, all of a sudden everything just kind of pops up on the side of you. Be like, well, I guess I'm doing something right.
I'm gonna tell you what's helpful though, and I it's gonna sound funny, and it is kind of funny, but I don't mean it to be so mean. But it's kind of helpful that there's so many people that I am like, that person's not that smart, and they figured it out.
Right.
Like you'll just be on like Instagram, you be like, he got an LLC?
Yeah, you be like, it's a lot of dummies out here making a lot of money.
I seen his podcast. He don't do nothing but talk about females with a Z. Like I feel like it can't be that hard to go to LegalZoom and figure this thing out. So.
Hey, you said that. You said a whole like LegalZoom and reading books, right? Like that's what you do. Read some books and then the things the other piece of it, the thing that I didn't have, that person, that resource to go to ask. I try to be that for other people, right?
Yeah.
So then it's, you know, you can remove some of that stigma because some people have been doing it for generations. They know how to start sleep.
Yeah. Like nothing. Got their kids signed up for the business. Got their kids on the employee. Their kids got 401ks and just been born. By the time they get ready to retire, they're gonna be gazillionaires.
Right. I mean, we still have a lot to figure out as it relates to that. But I think, you know, the more that we know, the more that we try to dig deeper and do better and build the plane while we're flying it. But thankfully he has this risk and compliance background, so he's a little bit more in the details. And I'm like, oh, let me just go out and serve and help. And he's like, wait a minute, which I need you to chill this. Go get it's due by this date, you know.
So, like don't forget the deadlines. Yeah, because the thing I realized about partnerships, you got to have both. And like, I'm the dreamer, Roderick's the realist, but at the same time, as a dreamer, I keep him going up too. We're both going up. I'm just really high, and he like not quite that high. Come on down a little bit, and I go okay, but I still see that goal. But at the same time, I got him a little higher off the ground, so both are actually moving. But you need each other for the reality of you don't want things to crash, because a dreamer don't be thinking about stuff on the ground.
Yeah, people will ask us all the time, like, is it hard working together as husband and wife? It hasn't been hard for us, but it seemed like the default, according to these questions, I'm guessing, like I gotta assume the default for them is it would be hard. Do y'all find it difficult to work together as a husband-wife team?
No, the having the right person makes all the difference. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say it's always easy. It's not always easy, because the hardest part about it is it's hard to turn it off. You know,
yes.
You have this lane of something, you got this lane of something, then y'all lay in the bed, be like, oh, remember tomorrow we got to do something. Like that's the hardest part. But I like this dude. Like, not only do I love him, and he my baby daddy and everything, like I like him, and I enjoy being able to spend that time with him and honestly build something together. So people will look at us and be like, oh, y'all a power couple. Well, it's a lot to come with it. A lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, and you know, testing and challenging each other. But when you got the right partner, like y'all a power couple in our eyes, you know what I mean? Like y'all doing this thing, y'all been doing it hard for a long time, you know. And
I love what you said about the hardest part is trying to turn it off, is because that is the thing, is
because it becomes your child, like an additional child. A lot of people don't understand that,
and I do need that. Like sometimes it's not about the podcast, it's not about business, not about the next plan. I think it always weirds people out when we go out to eat and we both pull out our tablets and read comic books, because they're like, wow, this couple's not even talking.
They think we don't like each other. They always ask us, are y'all okay? We be like, we talk all the time.
I'm like, all we do is talk. That's it. Sometimes it's nice.
Yeah, you used to look at couples and be like, they must not like each other. They all doing their own. But I mean, that's a healthy balance. Like Kevin and I do everything. And then like we got our business, we got the nonprofit, we got kids in sports, kids in school. Like we do this thing together. If you see one of us, the other one, it's unusual to not see us together. You know? And I'm okay with that. I'm good with that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen, if it's working, it's working. I was looking at something today where it was like Grant Hill, who's married to Tamia. They've been married, I think it was 26 years today. And they got 2 kids or whatever. And somebody on Twitter was showing like this, you know, the people that pay for the extra characters was like, here's a long story. But at the start of the story, it's like on their first date, Grant Hill forgot his wallet. He ordered a whole bunch of food, and then Tamia paid for it. And later on, he admitted it was a test to see if she would do it. And they stayed. And now they have 2 kids. They got 2 daughters, and they've been together 26 years. Happy 26 years.
That was risky, bro. Okay, no,
I think I quote tweeted and said the only thing that mattered was the last sentence, because it like that whole setup is crazy. That could have not worked on a million people. Like there's so many people that be like, this fool is Grant Hill. It's not even about I'm a gold digger. You're supposed to be Grant Hill, my man. Like, who asked me that? I'm Tamia. First of all, it's been a while, so some of y'all that's younger might not know who that is. I still remember her coming out that water in that video. Like, who is that? like you gonna pay for that one? That woman doesn't pay for meals, but it's just funny because I say all that to say, as long as it's healthy and y'all happy, it doesn't really matter what it looks like to other people. Like y'all are happy working together, y'all are happy, you know, building together, like that's just beautiful anyway. And at the end of the day, only thing people really look at is the how long did they stay together, are they still together? That's really all people can measure it by anyway. Nobody really knows the quality of the relationship. And like, so as long as it's working, it's great. How did y'all meet?
Marriage is hard. Then you throw a business on top of that, you know, like every day is a victory, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. How did y'all meet?
Oh, that's a good question. Go ahead. You go ahead and tell the story. So what happened was, we were both dating some really trash people. We were really dating some trash people. And so my mom and his uncle, they worked together. And so my mama hooked us up, believe it or not.
Wow. And it worked.
It was really on some, you know, Kevin was in the ministry and training, and I was leading the youth ministry at my church at the time. And again, we were dating some really garbage people. And so my mom was like, you know, talking to his uncle, they need to be friends. They need to get, you know, maybe they can help each other through this because this ain't it, right? Yeah. And I've honestly known his family all my life.
It's weird because we've had each other's pictures on each other's like mantles at each other's houses and
didn't know
it. Like been in the same room.
That's hilarious.
Know it. Like,
we were like, he would be upstairs at an event and I would have been downstairs. We talk about it now. We were like, oh, I was there. Oh, you was there. Do you remember that? And we never met until, you know, 15 years ago? Yeah. So, so my mom, you know, said something to his uncle. His uncle gave him my number, and I think I was working nights at the time. So we started, you know, just like a phone conversation, and then he.
What was that like for you, Kevin? Getting your uncle giving you a girl's number to be like, you need to call her, okay?
Do something.
You gotta, you need to do this. Like, was that just how trash the person you was dating when you was like, somebody. I will call any number. What is this? 1-900? I don't care.
So ultimately, that I would probably say is probably pretty much how much trash that person was, right? But my uncle definitely supported me. He loved me and cared for me, right? And he supported me. And you know, ultimately, it was a situation where ultimately, at that point in time, where I was at church, I'll share the story. Basically, where I was at church, I was serving there in the ministry, and the pastor at that point in time, well, he was never married at that point, but a girl I was dating or had strong interest in at that point, ultimately, they ended up getting together, and I was the last person to find out.
Oh no!
And I was serving in ministry and very close to the pastor in my capacity at the ministry.
Oh no!
But so
they was up in church like, girl, today might be the day he find out. You better show up. I'm going to all the services.
It might be a fight up in the pulpit.
And his uncle always knew who I was, right? So it wasn't like, you know, and I'm grateful that, you know, Unc trusted and knew who I was and enough to entrust me with this one because, you know,
it's kind of dope though that like, cause you don't, especially when you're younger, you definitely don't, you think the opposite, right? It's like, I definitely don't want to be with nobody my parents think is like good for me.
Right, because you're like, how would they know?
It's gonna be whack. They gonna be boring. It's basically gonna be like dating my parent. I don't want to date my parent. Parent approved. But it is. I do feel like once you get older and you get into that parental age, you be like, nah, it's a lot of good values that parents value that I needed to be thinking. I wasn't thinking about. I was thinking like how cool this person gonna be, but like, you know what's real cool? Hitting that mortgage every 15th. You know what I'm saying? You know, being home.
Wisdom, I'm telling you. Like my mom was telling me, like, you don't necessarily need to marry the person or search out that person that you can't live without. You gotta find the person you can live with, right?
Yes,
and it was at that time, like I've always had an old soul, and I think that I've rather learn from my mom's mistakes or you know the mistakes of my mentors than making those mistakes myself. And so I was willing to say, okay, Ma, you think I'll see? We'll see. You know,
I give it a chance.
Now, did your uncle and your mom, do they both like pull this card out every once in a while? Because I feel like if I would definitely, this would be the big joker. Like y'all would never have nothing over on me.
Listen, this she takes all the credit for everything. You know what I'm saying? every piece of everything good is, oh, well, if it hadn't been for me, you know.
Right. Look how he picking your baby up. Look at that. You know, he wouldn't have did that. Y'all, you would be with somebody that can't even pick their baby up if it wasn't for me. Yeah. Oh man, you would never win an argument.
No, and if I get in a disagreement with him, she'd be like, "You better go talk to him."
Right? Yeah. Well, now she's super invested because, like, if it don't work, it's a reflection.
You gonna make me look bad on
you? Right? She's gonna be in y'all house fixing it. Okay. Right.
They ain't gonna be talking about me in church next week.
And then, like, what was it like for you, Glennis, growing up with Keiki?
Whoa, yo.
You took it back with Keiki. Yeah, that's my name.
Listen, Keiki. Yes. I mean, she's always been, what you see is what you get. Kay has always been Kay. You know what I mean? She's been my big cousin, my fun cousin, like I said, giving me experiences, like her going off to school. Like, I'm gonna do that too. Her, coming, like meeting you. Like, I was like, man, I wish I had me a high school sweetheart. Right? It was like that emulation. Like, she's always giving me something to look up to and aspire to. Not that I put her up on a pedestal. She's human just like everyone else, right? But she was always willing, or always has been that person that, for me, I didn't have a big sister, right? And I didn't have a huge family locally. Kate was it, my big cousin here. The rest of my cousins were like other parts of the country. So, growing up, she was that person. And I like look at back at my photos from my childhood birthdays and stuff. Kay was there. And I just remember her being that fun person, that supportive person, that person that was like a big sister to me, that would come pick me up and be like, so what's going on? What you doing with? And then you're willing to talk to me and give me advice and, be crazy sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, just give you that, I just remember like never feeling like when Kay came to scoop me, I was going to get a different experience.
Right.
And that is what I think challenges me to not just settle. It's that seeking out those different experiences. So I value that, Kay. I ain't never said it to you like that, but I really appreciate, the way you showed up for me. And, man, it's so many things. I don't want to put all our business out there, but like, even she used to come to church with me, so I watched my cousin worship, and that was something for me that was like important. It was she's always been a really great role model and person that I could see and understand that there was value beyond just what I was going through at the moment. So I'm grateful for that.
And also, like, I hear how spiritual and like how important church and religion is for y'all at this time. Like, it feels like even like Christianity is becoming this like a different type. Like, people got different Christianities now.
Yeah, they do.
So how, like, is it almost misguiding, or do you almost have to be like careful, because some people Christianity is, we going out, we feeding the homeless, we putting shoes on people. And some people Christianity is like, we going to the government, we making sure people can't do stuff, we kicking people out the country. Like, how do y'all navigate that? Because like I said, all people that call themselves Christian aren't always operating the same.
No, they're not.
No, it's funny, we were talking about that today.
We were talking about that today. I think for me, my baseline and framework has always been operate from a standpoint of love, right? Ultimately, I believe that we were created because of love, and I think we need to operate that way in our daily lives, right? We need to show love to people, show compassion, try to uplift our neighbor, make sure everyone's okay, like have a sense of community, right?
It
seems simple. It seems so simple to
me. Christianity is not isolated in that. There's some folks that represent it fantastic, and some people that just take the tenets of it and they morph it into something that is never was intended to be. There are other religions that have that same conflict, so to speak. But I know that there's some long-standing challenges with Christianity that sometimes people think that Christians are, some Christians do act like they're better than everybody else, and then there's
they do.
Yeah, it's that catch-22 because like I'm not a very religious person, but people always, they kind of are like, so do you like not like Christians? You don't like Christianity? I'm like, no, I don't have a problem with that. I grew up in the South. People I knew that was helping people was Christian. Reverend William Barber is a Christian. He's doing that from the religious tenets in his heart. That's why he helps people. So I can't just be like everybody that's a Christian looks like blank person that is, in my opinion, like doing stuff that's hurting the world. Like the same people that's helping the world, they found something different in it. So like, but I always think about the internal conflict because I can see you really would have to do your research. It's like, oh, we want to partner with this organization. Oh, cool. We both Christians. And they like, yeah. So what we do, we go out, we beat people up on the weekend. It's like, whoa, that's not opposite.
That's not what we do.
No, it is definitely challenging. We we try to stay prayerful, and sometimes we're not gonna know because people put on front and they say they one thing and they end up being something different. So I mean, if you lived your life that way of always trying to make sure you only affiliate yourself with the right people that doing the right thing all the time, I mean, you probably have to stay in the house. Like, don't go nowhere, don't do nothing. It's really challenging. So really all we can individually be responsible for is the actions that we take and our motivations behind it. And we try to do the best we can with what we have, align ourselves with people that we, the best of our knowledge, that are doing the things the way that we can stand in alignment with. But it's challenging, you come into a space, but you come into a space and people say, oh, well, you a Christian? Oh, okay. Right. I know, they make assumptions
because they've had whatever their experiences are. Y'all, like we said, you don't really always wear your trauma on your sleeve, so you wouldn't even know until you start talking and you'd be like, oh, okay, so what happened to you? You know what I mean? Like, my parents just started dating my girl, so like,
I mean, some people they don't recover from that, and they will just separate and be like, I don't got nothing.
Church is real. Church is real. But I think that it's really important that we are genuine and that we do our best, like I said, with every instance that we have to represent who we are, to be true to that. And I think that that's where, no matter when we come out and we're serving, we're not coming like, oh, well, we happen to attend, World Worship Church. We come out as Kevin and Glennis. Yeah. That's who we are. Yeah. You're going to see our walk. Right? We don't have to beat you over the head with the word of God. We don't have to preach at you. You're going to feel love. And you may say, man, what church you go to? Or,
anytime, listen, anytime people see people happy, productive, everybody want to know the secret. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like I sometimes I feel bad because I don't have like a blueprint to be like, all right, so this is what you need to do, player.
Because it's not really a blueprint.
But I feel like everyone's seeking out that same like happiness, well-adjusted, that helpfulness. So I could absolutely see people, like I said, you don't have to preach it to people for people to just be like curious, like, hey, so how did you find your way to this? So I could definitely see that. Now, there are a lot of people in the game that are doing well, but they scamming. Do y'all ever feel like, man, we should have scammed though? Because I feel like it's some people with they getting bread, like big houses, cars. They be at all the events. They had the red carpet. Like, were you ever tempted, to just, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and
be like, get these coins.
Yeah.
I will gladly say no. No, we have
not. Okay. All right. Just like ask.
That ain't our path. I think it's challenging when you see folks that aren't necessarily on the up and up prospering, right? That part is challenging. It can sometimes be a little discouraging, but it's never to a point where I'm like, man, let's do this. Let's just,
I'm not gonna lie, I've been tempted a couple times. I didn't do it. I've never done nothing like it, but it's been a few times.
I have vetoed a lot of ideas that would never come to light of day. I'm looking at Roger like, no, sir, get out of my face.
I read the paper. I'll be like, man.
He'd be like, why don't we sell out? We are not selling out, sir.
I'm like, I don't even know if this person believes in God. They just
doing stuff.
They just out here making money.
In my beliefs, there are biblical laws. If you follow those laws, if you follow those steps, there are certain things you're going to reap, right? You're going to be able see prosper in those things, and but we got to do it the right way, because ultimately we're not accountable to Kay, we're not accountable to Rod, we're not accountable to no people here. We believe in being accountable to something bigger, and he sees everything. So
that's all right. I'll pass the test. Y'all not scared.
I'm glad. How did COVID impact the organization? Wow. And how are y'all preparing if something else like COVID happens again?
So, well, when COVID happened, we were actually going into the local school system here in Charlotte. We were going into Title I schools, and we were doing days of encouragement. So we would go in and do a art activity with them, and then we might do a presentation on like Martin Luther King or Rosa Parks, or someone that was very inspiring and that overcame obstacles, right? But when the pandemic hit, of course, that shut everything down, right? So we had to pivot, and we had to pivot hard. So we actually, I think during that point in time, we were throwing around the idea of doing another preventive program, which is what we call TIPS, and it's the Teen Initiative for Promoting Preventive Practices. So we did our first ever session actually in that November 2021, and it was all on Zoom. And
wow,
that was interesting.
Now we had to shift, because our heart was to serve young people, kids, right? And we were very fortunate early on to be able to go into the schools. And so when the school shut down and the community really shut down, the work with the kids that we were doing had to pivot, because we couldn't get to them directly. But the work in the community, we were masked up. We had to change our waivers, right? We had to put in there, if you coming out to serve, it's at your own risk, but we out there because, people that were experiencing houselessness and housing insecurity, COVID didn't change that for them. If nothing, it made a lot of people, tent city, erected, and we were already out serving, so the visibility of Tent City made our city, it showed a lot about our city. It showed a lot.
For those that don't know, don't live in Charlotte, so Tent City was like this it was like this area of Charlotte that was a lot of people that were houseless like started to congregate around,
right?
And so and like at first it was small, but it kept getting bigger, especially during the pandemic,
right?
And it got so big that it really started becoming like an eyesore to the city. Politicians, media people really started caring, not necessarily caring about the people there, but caring to get them the hell out of there,
right?
And then it kind of like basically got bulldozed out one night, and like you really, it's crazy because like even a city that is considered liberal, like here, San Francisco, Seattle, all these cities that have a reputation of like these hippies, and they all Democrats, and they just, man, everything is cool in theory,
right?
Once it become real life, people slip, they flip up on folks. And it's so interesting because I think I was saying this about like cash bail, like people are, in theory, it's like we got to end cash bail, we got to stop putting people in jail just so that they don't have the money, so now they done lost their job, they done lost their house. Turns out the trial, it doesn't even go to trial, you done lost everything, and you just get back out on the streets. That's messed up. Why don't we just let people out while their trials are pending, and then they can come back through the justice system, and whatever the penalty is, if they're found guilty, they can pay it then, right? Everyone agrees if we do this on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere that's theoretical. In real life, people be tripping. There was a man who stabbed a woman to death on the train. He had mental illness, and it's gone viral, and like the president's picked it up. It's crazy. But the bigger point is like he had a small infraction for something he was out on bail for right now, and it was not necessarily anything he should have been locked up for. We're not even sure it's a crime, to be honest, but they immediately seized on that. Like, Well, he was a former felon and he was jaywalking. So why was he even out on the streets? And it's like suddenly you see people that you would think would be like, well, this is kind of the cost of freedom, of us not having a punitive system. You're going to have some people that are out and maybe they reoffend. Instead, it's like, we got to close the system. Nobody gets out. And that's kind of how it felt with the tent city. It felt like our city was like, yeah, we like helping people that don't have houses in theory. We didn't think they was going to like be outside and we was going to see them every day. Get them out of here. I remember one of the news reports was like, they be having rats up there. I was like, right, but they would, because we don't take care of that area and we just letting people out there to their own devices. That's kind of, that's what would happen. It's like, they gotta go. I'm like, the rats gonna still exist, by the way. But okay, so now they gone. What did we fix?
We fixed absolutely positively nothing, because the thing about it is, once you tear that down, the people don't disappear. That's what people got to realize. The people, you might not can see them, but they don't disappear.
And you didn't tear it down because you were helping them. You tore it down because you didn't like the way it made our city.
Right. It ain't like you tore it down and then you found people housing. You did your due diligence to be sure that they wouldn't be in the situation again. You just tore it.
And I'll say there's a lot of organizations, grassroots, that I'm proud to call friends that continue to stay and fight for those folks that were displaced in Tent City. We were part of the Hearts of the Invisible Coalition when it first started. Now it's a big, thriving entity that created a street outreach team here in Charlotte. And they were able to do amazing work to help advocate for those folks and support folks and get them into the hotels that were erected to help support folks that were displaced. But unfortunately, a lot of people did, they could not accommodate the folks that were displaced. And so where you see folks in underpasses and back in the woods and tents and things, Tent City didn't just, the problem wasn't magically solved because they bulldozed it down. A lot of hard work, a lot of crazy hours went in to trying to do the work. And we are proud to call some of those ladies and gentlemen friends that did that work. And we helped to support in any way that we could. But that's still a problem. We still got people suffering from being displaced during that time. And
every time I drive down the street, you see it. It's everywhere.
And also the thing is, like Roger said, a lot of this stuff, and this is across the country in theory, because a lot of times once they tore it down, all a lot of these people did was scatter across the city. So now at every intersection, you have somebody with a sign all across the city of Charlotte. Not trying funny, when they all probably would have been conjugated in that one area.
Yeah, but it's just messed up because, like, even if they're kind of put in one area, if the city and the people are like, you in one area where we're not gonna help you,
right?
Then it's just
not benefiting.
It's still messed up. It's something about the heart. I mean, a giving heart. It really truly is about people changing people's hearts and minds about that stuff. How can people give? Like, where do they need to go?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. I mean, I want to first say, hey, A Giving Heart Project, we're out here doing some work. Support our work, right? Go to www.agivingheartproject.org. You can support there. However, what I will implore you all, and one of the things that we've learned more as we've dug into some of the policy spaces, there is a continuum of care here in Mecklenburg County and in all your cities, wherever you are. Plug into your continuum of care. If you have a heart for people that are unhoused, connect with the COC, because they are making decisions to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. That is literally their mission. And so if you have a passion to be connected to this work, plug in there. Figure out how you can use your social capital, your network of people, whatever, your resources to help make true impact. Because, there's important work being done by boots on the ground, but we need voices in those rooms that are making those decisions that are far-reaching. So I encourage everyone, if you don't know what your COC is, if you've never heard of the Continuum of Care, Google it, get connected to the Continuum of Care, and then find a local organization that's doing some of this amazing work. One of them being A Giving Heart Project. And we would love to have your support. We take volunteers, we take in-kind contributions, like I said, toiletries, non-perishable items, school supplies, laundry detergent, like anything you can think of that is a basic necessity in life. People need those things. And then we also will take your tokens. We would love to have your support in doing this work.
I put the link in the show notes, so y'all listening later. I put it in the chat room already, but if you're listening later, you're in the show notes. Hit up a givingheart.org. It's in the chat room as well. A givingheartproject.org. And yeah, man, I'm like, not just it's weird being adults and talking, but I'm so proud of y'all, man. It's such a dope thing, like that y'all doing, because like I think it's difficult.
Yes.
But it's also like y'all are so mission oriented, and it's, you know, it's like dope to know people like that exist in the world, man. Like sometimes I feel like it feels so dark in the world, and specifically at this point in time, it feels like the only thing that's gonna get people through is community with each other. Like you can't just like, to hopefully a lesson is being learned, you can't always depend on some outside entities to like fix it. Sometimes it's down to people, and the people got to be the ones to fix it themselves. And so I think it's so beautiful what y'all are doing.
Yeah. And as somebody, and I'm like this with a lot of people, I see people doing things, and I am the type of person, I always cheer from a distance, always. And so, you know, even, you know, people online and things like that. So I might not always be in your face up front, your largest cheerleader, but I have seen where y'all have came from. I've seen y'all doing really, really small things. Well, very few people turned out. I remember one time y'all was at like a trampoline place. One time, you know, y'all doing school, y'all doing stuff for women. And so I remember, and I just mentally just kind of took notes of what everything you guys were doing. And so some of the projects is one of them things where I'm very proud of what you accomplished. And it takes a lot of the time, a lot of dedication, a lot of love for these things, because y'all have children and things like that too. And so, you know, it's tough to do it just regular, but then you add, I'm also trying to raise other human beings also, you know, like in addition to all these various different other things. And in addition to giving to your organization, you guys have an event coming up. Let us know about the event.
Yeah, thank you so much. First, and let's say thank you for this opportunity. Y'all are leveraging your platform to support our work, and it means a lot to us. So thank you, big cousins. But yes, we do have our second annual gala coming up. It's the Red Heart Affair, old Hollywood theme. It is actually Friday, September 19th. It's at the Lux venue. It is a fundraiser for us to be able to support this work as we go into this last quarter of the year, helping us to gear up for next year and the big plans that we have to support even more families, even more individuals that are unhoused. It is, if you go to our website at givingheartproject.org, you will see on the very first page, you can get your tickets. Ticket sales are actually still open until tomorrow. So you can go in, you can get a ticket if you can attend. We would love to have you there. If you can't attend, there's a donate button attached to that campaign. So feel free to support our work. We would really appreciate it. It really helps to fuel the three legs that we stand on, which is our case management, our prevention work, and our outreach in the community. So thank you for the opportunity to share that with your audience.
All right, listen, we are still a comedy podcast, and we do silly things here too. So I do want to do some silly stuff with you guys. Sure. But we also saw you guys outside of Handel's one day, just out there. Like it wasn't a plan.
I'm so sorry. I talked them to death.
We were ice cream.
It was so cool.
Yeah. What's y'all favorite flavor at the Handel's? Do y'all have a favorite?
Mine is lemon bar.
Bar.
You know, what got me in a headlock right now is their blondie. It's like a blondie brownie. And then I put some butter pecan ice cream on top. Now don't judge me for the rest of this. Then I put some strawberries, some pineapple, and wet walnuts. Oh my god! It's a Sunday, but it's
sounds good though.
It's delicious. It got me.
It's got fruit in there, so it's healthy. Kevin, you got a favorite?
That's my jam right now.
Yeah, I like the lemon bar. Salted caramel has me in it.
That was good too.
Yeah. Mine is, they got a blueberry pie one. It's that thing do not miss.
One time. Did you get the blueberry pie?
No, it was the apple pie. So I had the
apple pie. Man, blueberry pie don't sound like it would be good ice cream. I really was like, this is the greediest thing I ever admitted, but we were on the way. We were going to Handel's, because it was our first time. I had never heard of it. So I went on Spotify and searched Handel's, and I found a Handel's ice cream episode of a podcast.
Yeah, they talked about it.
And they was talking to a person that worked at Handel's. This was not like some major podcast. This was like a local Kentucky. Like I just talked to the people around my city, and this one was like, "Well, I'm a manager at Handel's or whatever." And it was like, "So what's your most popular flavor?" And she was like,
"They described it."
The way she broke that blueberry down, I was like, "Man, I ain't never had blueberry." But
and the way she was like, "We make our batches every day. We make them by hand." I was like, "And bitch, it tastes like it." It was absolutely delicious.
They sold me, so like that's what I'm on right now. Now,
if you love food, you got to get some because it's delicious.
You listen.
Yeah, if you got a Handles near you
now, because now the struggle now is because I'll be wanting to try something different every time. The struggle now is not falling to that like, just give me the blueberry one more time. I look at I know they be like, why is he even looking at the menu? He's staring at this menu for 20 minutes, no reason. Yeah, the blueberry, sir. Yes, the blueberry. Well, we play a game, and as happy couples, I feel like this will be a fun game for us. It's a game called Gender Wars. Okay, I'll explain the game to you in a second, but first I'm gonna play the theme song music because it's a bop, and then I'll tell you how we play the game here.
Okay.
There's a war going on outside. War. There's a war going on outside. War.
Okay, so Gender Wars, we find content on the internet where people are arguing men versus women, something. Okay, now we don't participate in the men versus women. It's not about who's winning, the men or the women. That's not cool. That part sucks. What we do is we go, how good was this content at being inflammatory enough that people would argue about it?
That they will argue.
So from 0 to 10, so it's not like, oh, the woman was right, the man. It's like, man, did they set up a good enough scenario to where people are going to share it? They're going to be mad. They're going to be whatever.
Okay.
So today's contribution came from a fan who sent me a link to this YouTube short. And it's called... The caption is, so I'm stepdaddy for the bills, but can't check your kids? Emoji. Okay, this is from Cedric Maddox Artist is who put this out. It has 1.4 thumbs ups. I guess it don't count the dislikes. I would love to know that number.
Ain't that the truth?
But it's got 2,100 comments. So people...
They were talking.
A lot of people leaving comments. All right, I'm gonna play some of this, and then we'll start judging how good this was. Let's see.
How do you feel about disciplining your children?
Hold up. So this is what I'm talking about. So when you was in the house being disciplined, that don't have nothing to do with me. Did your mama tell you to keep your hands to yourself?
My mama. Wait,
your mama. Why you talking about how you was
mama got to do with this?
Man.
Okay, so those listening audio later, it appears that the woman is holding the phone and the man is in the car with her and they arguing, but she's the one recording. So I don't know how Cedric Maddox Artist uploaded this. It don't seem like it's his video.
And she keep going from front view to back view, front view to back view.
Now I will say, it feels kind of real only because of how trash the filming is. This don't film like they feel like they really sat down and came up with a scenario.
Yeah, this is like a real old person who got a phone for the first time, and they grandkids just told them how to flip from the back to the front, so they practicing.
Yeah. Why is the video just showing like the top part of her head? Like it's
because they don't know where to aim it.
Yeah, it feels very real.
She didn't plan her outfit to be on like that.
Right. Yeah. Like, but it's adding to the authenticity, even as it takes away from the presentation.
Agreed.
All right, here we go.
Look, you're not gonna put your hands on my kids. How? You not gonna put your hands on my kids? They daddy not gonna put nobody. Me. You wait till I get home.
So you telling me
what?
I said all I'm saying was discipline.
Okay, well, what is discipline? What is discipline in your book? What is that?
You don't have to put this on the internet.
I can put it wherever I want.
That's a good touch. They always forget to do that in these little fake scenarios. But in real life, if you're having an argument and one of y'all whip out a phone, someone is gonna be like, "Why are you recording this? And why don't put this in?" And almost every time they act like it's normal, and I'm like, "No, normal people don't argue like that."
No, they don't.
So I do appreciate him pointing out, like, I see you filming me, and what are you planning to do with this film where you talking about me hitting kids? That's not cool. I'm a real person. They might see this at my job. You gonna get me go to jail? Feels real.
I'm gonna send it to your mama. I'm gonna send it to your mama so she know what to do.
It's real.
You know what? Yeah, my IQ is very high. Okay, well, you're right. And did so what?
All I'm trying to say, Monica,
oh my
is
gosh,
that discipline can be time out.
You extra. You're not putting nobody in time out. It's not gonna happen. No. Did you buy the toy? Did you buy it?
So you saying that I can't do?
Did you buy the toy?
So what I supposed to do work when it comes to be disciplining the children? I'm just asking the question.
You have to put your hands on my kids. If you didn't buy no toy, how you gonna take the toy from somebody?
What you mean?
I don't know that the argument makes sense or not. I don't have kids.
It does not make sense.
I don't, but I do appreciate her talking to the phone while this man is still in the car talking to her.
Like, yeah. This is like, for real, why you gonna put it out there like that? Like, even if that's how you really feel, what you really thought, who was the intended audience?
Oh my God. Her talking to the phone, and I'm assuming that it's not, because it's it doesn't look like it's on Instagram Live or anything. So she just talking to the video on the phone, knowing she gonna put it out later. But it is funny to start talking to the phone like it's like a person is there. Like, can you believe this dude? He is. How he gonna just put? I'm like, what are you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk to him. But okay, it's only maybe another minute or so.
Did you buy the toy?
It doesn't matter if I
did you buy the toy?
So you saying?
Did you buy the toy?
You being immature right now.
No, you being immature.
How am I being?
Why you trying to? What you got? What kind of fetish you got with putting your hands on people?
I didn't say put my hands on them. I'm saying discipline. How do you feel about being disciplined?
I don't.
Children?
I don't.
Discipline different, Monica.
I don't. You're right. You're right. Because you know why? Because I was not raised like that. You're not gonna put your hands on my kids. They daddy don't put their hands on them, baby.
So she is stuck on him hitting her kids, and he's telling us he's not going to
hit the kids, right?
But it don't matter.
Even listening to each other.
It don't even matter what he say. She go right back to like, he gonna hit these kids. I can tell.
You can't put your hands on my kids and don't take their toys.
This is a good trick though to get him to buy some toys though.
The kids gonna benefit. The toys in the house gonna go up.
Because if he want to discipline,
he gonna start buying them.
I bought that one.
Come on, I will show up the next day with a PS5. Like, hey, we living different around here, okay? Y'all about to respect me. Yeah, go ahead, plug it up. And then second they mess up, give me them controllers. I can do it. You said if I bought the toys.
They got bigger problems than that, Lord.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. It's other issues.
Once you start filming it and post it on the internet, it's pretty much over.
And again, who is she talking to? That's
we've done 3,000 of these episodes. We ain't never sounded like this on one of them. That's crazy. I'm not putting none of this in front of the street. All right, let's finish it off.
These my kids.
I said discipline.
Who does that? No, you're not gonna do time out, time in. No, they mine.
So
they mine.
So I don't have no right to discipline. No kind of way.
Discipline. Who
does that?
Well, baby, guess what? You're not.
So what is it?
You know what? Do what you gotta do. Here's what you can do. Okay. Take me back to my car. That's what you can do. You could to my car. That's see that? Now you can tell him that. You know what? So what? Well, hey, you know what? You wasn't minding being ghetto. Well, baby, hey, put the car in drive. Put the car in drive. Put the car. You know, see what I'm saying? This is what I mean.
I don't want to talk about it.
Baby, you need to work. Baby, before you get engaged to somebody, know who you getting engaged to.
So that's a warning to us. Somehow that turned into a lesson. Man, we're not in the car yelling.
No.
There's nothing we can learn from this. She really came for our next again. I didn't think it was going to turn into a lesson.
I didn't know this was the more you know.
I was trying to figure out the audience. Now I know it was us.
It was us, yeah. She posted this as a warning. Now there are some comments. We have to check the comments to see how good the content was. So prepare yourselves.
See what they were saying.
Okay.
Ain't no telling, it's the internet.
The first comment was from 2 weeks ago. It's from Rabbit D452.
Not Rabbit
502. She's raising the next generation of convicts.
Oh no!
826 thumbs up. Not sure how he got that from that, but okay. She is showing who she is. Please act accordingly, says Anthony. Please leave this woman for your peace of mind, says Simeon. She's ignorant, in caps, at its finest. Our first comment from a woman, and the woman's name is Lady First. Magog says, know who you're getting engaged to, she said. Madam, thank you for the bottom of my heart for showing this man exactly who you are before letting him make the biggest mistake of his life. Letting him know you wasn't raised with any discipline was a big help too. So everyone's on the man's side.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
One-sided argument.
Yeah. Crazy. She thought she was gonna make him look stupid. Listen to all these people, dog, and run. Don't look back either. A young fool comes an old fool. Yeah, 0 people. I was trying to see if I could find at least one person on her side. But okay, all right. So let's rate it, Karen. 0 to 10. How good is this on the gender war scale for you?
I give this one about the middle of 5.
A 5, okay.
And I give it a 5 because A is an older couple, so I understand the camera angle changes and all up your nose hairs.
It looked like when Monique filmed that video that one time
yes.
Like, somehow the camera was way up here. It was like, oh, Monique getting old. Like, not saying she wrong, but like that's old people filming. You can't have the camera up here. You gotta get the body in there.
That and then the energy level, like they matched each other's.
You did. You're a big energy level person.
Yeah, like, and it don't matter if the energy is high or low. It just sometimes it needs to be balanced. Sometimes different energy levels can balance, but they kind of met each other with the same kind of energy level.
So 5.
Yeah, and there's also I think that he tried to argue, but he wasn't doing a really good job. And I think that at the end when he called her ghetto, that should have been more at the beginning. Like if you really want the people to kind of catch on you arguing, because
then maybe some people would have been on her side.
If
you start off calling her ghetto, then it's like that's why she really got mad.
Right, would it justify her action?
And on the deeper level, you be like, is he being anti-black? So you calling her ghetto because she a black woman,
right?
And she won't let you hit her kids, like
right?
That would have took it to the next level.
Yeah, so I'm kind of taking kind of points away from that because it was like things at the end should have been more at the beginning. Like because the thing about the gender wars, you want to catch people quick. You don't want to take 2 minutes in because most people they're not gonna watch all the 2 minutes like we did. They're gonna hit about 30 seconds to 90 seconds, then they're gonna tap out.
I feel like most people that left comments didn't even watch the whole video. They didn't even need to.
No, they didn't.
They was like, she wrong. First of all, she loud. What about you, Glennis? What would you give us from 0 to 10?
Oh, yeah. See, I started out at like a 7, like, oh, this is legit. But then I feel like the continuation of the video, I really felt like, especially when after he said, you don't got to put this on, and she kept switching it back and she was talking to somebody, like, it just felt really like inauthentic to me.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like this is not a legitimate, reasonable conversation to be having somebody you engaged to. Like that just didn't match up for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go down low. I'm gonna give about a 4.
A 4. Okay. What about you, Kevin? How'd you feel about 0 to 10?
Yeah, so I was at a 6, but as the conversation continued, I think I got down towards a 4 myself. For me, looking at the video, all I see is a whole bunch of red flags, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, man.
All over the place.
It's just one red flag.
Yeah, they're just throwing them right. Flag on the play.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. I think for me, so I started high as well because I feel, I'm still not sure they faked that. Like, only because crazy people that talk to their phone like that, that's like she knew she was gonna upload it, but it felt like there was nobody there.
Nobody there.
So like she was so like into the idea of winning this argument on the internet that she was already preparing herself to talk to the internet, which is crazy. Like what?
That makes sense.
But I had to knock some points off because the caption is actually wrong. The caption was, "I'm stepdaddy when it's time to pay the bills." Brother, you don't even buy toys. What are we talking? Bills didn't come up not once in this whole discussion.
It did not.
I didn't even yelling and the camera was on her because I was distracted at that moment. He might have me and I didn't.
He should have said now if he would have said I pay half the rent, then I'm like, okay, now we cooking with something. Cause now you can make an argument like, man, it's my house and the kids can't just do what they want and not respect me when you ain't there. That's crazy. I gotta wait for you to get home to be like, put the toys down. But he didn't even get to that point.
Right. And that's why I was
talking the caption was misleading.
Right. That's why I was talking about the conversation should have been more of that part, that up front.
Yeah.
And then her rent was already crazy, but it would have looked even more crazy if he would have kind of put that up front.
Like, so it could be real. Like,
it could be real.
And part of the reason I think it could be real is because the argument is kind of whack and it fizzled out at the end, which is, you know, arguments with crazy people, that's how they end. They don't end on gotchas, you know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Like, it's not a mic drop, Shonda like this. So like it just kind of ended with like, take me home. It's like, all right, I'll take you home or whatever.
We always argue.
Right.
Yeah. right. They did say we always argue. It was like, oh, so this is a Tuesday.
Right. But the main issue for me is that they don't give you enough for you to side with the woman. And I feel like every good gender wars should be 50-50. You should kind of see where both people coming from.
Agreed.
And you should also kind of be disgusted with both people. You shouldn't be leaving this like that brother need to get away from her. You should be leaving like they both need to leave each other or they both need to shut up.
Like there was, I didn't get that.
I'm gonna go with a 4 as well because you know. But man, I was rooting for them in the beginning to have a good night, a good one. Yeah. And
a good battle.
And to that fan that sent it in, I see why you sent it in. Like it is worth judging because you know a lot of times y'all send in the worst ones and I'll be like,
sometimes they be whack, y'all, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be like,
yeah, but that was a good one, whoever submitted that. All right, very last thing, we do another thing called Sword Ratchetness where we talk about swords and we try to tell people we're trying to get gun control in America, but honestly we don't even have sword control. So we got to spread a little bit of awareness. Now, this is a long 25-second sound effect that I'm going to play. Just grin and bear it. It's part of it. Sword Ratchetness.
Then he falls off his horse.
Twist.
He got stabbed.
This one comes from Australia. Okay. All the way across the globe. Good day, mates.
I know. Be careful out there, Wonga.
Shout out to Wonga. Twist as police called to Melbourne Southland Shopping Center as a man arrives with a sword.
Oh.
Police officers who rushed to a busy Melbourne shopping center to reports of a knife-wielding man were surprised at what they were confronted with. Now, how would you be surprised if they called you to be like, anyway, okay. The calls to the officers from security came at 7:20 p.m. on a Wednesday after an armed man was seen walking around the Southland Shopping Center in the city southeast. With lights and sirens on, police rushed to the center and found a 24-year-old outside of the village cinemas. But as soon as they laid eyes on him, they realized he was dressed in a costume complete with a lifelike imitation sword. So he was, oh my God, he was a cosplayer. He was dressed as Demon Slayer, the movie.
Oh no.
So he had came to see the movie we just went to see, Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle.
And people dress up for that.
And so he was actually just there in cosplay, and they seized the fake sword and said it was best to leave all weaponry at home next time. And the officers, being a little snarky, said no demons were slayed and the man enjoyed watching the movie without further incident.
So the sword wasn't real?
It was a fake sword, and he was just cosplaying. And
it probably caused people to panic because they were like, "You got a sword."
And listen, it hurts me to say, I'm a huge anime fan. Okay, I love Demon Slayer. I like nerdy stuff. I like when people go to cons. But leave the damn sword at home, man. What's wrong with you? Like this, they don't know it's fake. You could have got killed, man.
Yes,
you could be dead because you're a big fan. That's crazy. Like, what would you have done with an anime with a gun in it? You gonna bring a fake gun? Like, there's a level
that
to
does
this.
Not work well. That does not end well for you.
Right. So, you play with your life, homeboy. I'm glad the Australian police not as trigger happy as America, because you would
that's the truth.
You would have definitely caught.
They'd have been wearing you on a t-shirt, bro.
Come on, man. They would have seen if you could block with that sword, dog. Don't do it.
Please don't.
But yeah, so make sure you guys be safe out there listening. Tell everybody once again where to go to the gala, to give, to donate, all of that stuff.
Yes. Visit us at www.agivingheartproject.org. agivingheartproject.org. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, A Giving Heart Project, AGHP AGH Project, on X. But we would love for you to just connect with us.
Well, thank y'all for coming. It was great seeing y'all. I'm sure we'll see y'all outside Handles at some point.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all, man. And like I said, man, I'm so proud of y'all, man, just because what y'all doing is so dope, and y'all been doing it for a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have totally understood if it was like, man, we tried, we gave it a year, but y'all, like, it's 2025. Y'all been doing this thing 7 years, man. That's so dope. For the rest of y'all, we'll be back throughout the rest of the week. We appreciate y'all, and we'll have all kinds of crazy stuff to talk about tomorrow for sure. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye, everybody. Bye.